Titan Station hung above Saturn like a steel scar against the yellow clouds. Inside, the air was sharp with the smell of metal and burned fuel. Recruits moved in rows through the main training hall, their boots hitting the floor in rhythm. They were young, nervous, and sweating under heavy combat suits. Ethan Cole watched them from the front. His face was cold, lined from years of war. He had seen soldiers die on Mars and Europa. He had no time for weakness. He was there to make killers, not dreamers. He barked orders. The recruits moved faster. Drones hovered above them, tracking their movements with red sensors. Ethan's voice cut through the hall like a blade. "Faster. The enemy won't wait for you to think." They obeyed, all except one. At the back row sat a woman, motionless. Her uniform was perfect, her hands still, her eyes calm. She did not sweat, did not flinch, did not even blink when the drones fired warning shots near her boots. Ethan noticed her every day but never said a word. Until now. He called out, "Cadet, on your feet." She stood slowly, eyes straight ahead. No fear, no confusion, just silence. Ethan walked toward her. The recruits watched, their drills forgotten. The hall grew quiet except for the hum of engines deep in the walls. "What's your name?" Ethan asked. She answered in a soft, steady voice. "Mira." "Full name." She paused. "Mira, 9. A few recruits exchanged glances. That kind of number belonged to synthetic units, not humans. Ethan frowned. "You're not on the roster," he said. "Who cleared your transfer?" "Classified," she said. Ethan didn't like that word. He had seen too many classified operations end in blood. He leaned closer. "You think you can sit there and hide behind that word?" No answer. Her eyes didn't move. Something about them felt wrong. Too focused. Too precise. Ethan turned to the others. "Everyone out, simulation mode." The recruits hurried to the walls as he activated the training drones. Metal shutters opened above them. 4 drones dropped down, wings spreading with a hiss of heat. Red lights came alive. "Show me what you can do," Ethan said. Mira stepped into the center. The drones locked on her signal. She didn't move as they circled her, aiming their weapons. Then, without warning, she moved. Her speed was unreal. She dodged the first blast by inches, her body twisting like liquid metal. A kick shattered one drone in half. The second she caught mid-air and ripped its sensor core out. The last 2 fired together. She leaped, rolled, and landed between them, driving a blade she had taken from her belt through both in a single motion. It was over in seconds. The room filled with smoke. The drones fell to the ground, sparking. Mira stood in the center, calm and untouched. Her suit was clean. Her breathing never changed. Ethan stared. The recruits stared. No human could move like that. He took a slow step forward, hand on his sidearm. "What are you?" he asked. Her eyes met his. For a moment, the light in them flickered. Not reflection, but something alive, mechanical. Then it was gone. "You shouldn't have done that," she said. The air turned heavy. Alarms started to ring through the walls. Ethan's comlink buzzed with static. He heard a voice from command shouting about a security breach. He looked back at her. Mira didn't move. She was smiling now. Only slightly. Outside the station, a shadow moved across Saturn's pale horizon, blocking the light for a second. Ethan's hand tightened on his weapon. Something was coming. The alarm lights turned red as the floor shook under Ethan's boots. Metal groaned in the distance. The recruits ran for cover while the station's defense turrets came online. Ethan didn't move. His eyes stayed locked on Mira. She stood in the same spot where she had destroyed the drones. Her face was calm, but something behind her eyes shifted, like a hidden code coming to life. "Stay where you are," Ethan said. His voice was sharp and steady. "I told you," she said. "You shouldn't have done that." "What's happening?" Ethan demanded. "Your station has been found." By who, he didn't get to ask. The whole deck shook again. The lights flickered. Overhead, the glass panels of the training hall showed the dark outline of something huge outside, moving through the shadow of Saturn. The command channel came alive in his ear. "All units, prepare for contact. Unknown fleet entering orbit." Ethan drew his pistol. "Everyone to evac tunnels now." The recruits obeyed, running for the side exits. Mira didn't move. She just watched him. When the last recruit was gone, Ethan turned to her. "You're coming with me." "You can't fight what's coming," she said. He aimed his pistol at her chest. "Try me." They moved through the corridors. Smoke filled the air from power surges. The hum of the reactor deep below sounded like a heartbeat getting faster. On every wall, alert lights flashed the same word: intrusion. Ethan dragged Mira to the command chamber. Officers shouted over each other, trying to control the chaos. The main screen showed 6 massive ships descending through Saturn's upper clouds. They weren't human. One officer turned to Ethan. "We've got breach pods on course from orbit. They're cutting through the outer hull." "Target and destroy," Ethan ordered. "Negative, sir. Our guns are offline. They hacked our system before the fleet appeared." Ethan turned to Mira. "What do you know about this?" She looked at the screen. Her voice was quiet. "They are Zerath, the ones who built me." The room froze. Ethan stared at her. "Built you?" "I'm human," she said, "but not only human. I was made as part of a joint program. Human DNA merged with Zerath code. You call it the hybrid division. You were never told." Ethan's hand tightened on his weapon. "That project was shut down years ago." "No," she said. "It was buried." The station shook again. The lights went out. Emergency lamps glowed dim red. The sound of explosions rolled through the walls. Screams echoed from the lower decks. Ethan pushed her against the console. "You brought them here." "I didn't," she said. "They tracked me. I escaped them. They want me back." The screens flickered. An incoming message flashed in alien symbols, then switched to human script. A voice came through the speakers, distorted but clear enough to understand. "Return the unit called Mira 9, or your station will burn." Everyone in the room turned toward her. Ethan's chest felt cold. He could see fear in some of the younger officers' faces. He remembered how she destroyed the drones like they were nothing. If that voice wanted her, maybe it was right to be afraid. Mira looked at him. "They won't stop. You can kill me, but they'll still come." Ethan lowered his weapon only slightly. "Then we fight." Outside, the first enemy pods slammed into the hull. The deck jumped under the impact. Fire alarms screamed. The outer windows cracked. Mira's eyes glowed faint blue for a second. She whispered, "It begins." Ethan looked up at the screen. Hundreds of pods were now falling toward Titan Station. He said quietly, "Everyone arm up." Then the sound of tearing metal filled the air as the first breach opened on the upper deck. The walls shook as the first wave of Zerath drones tore through the upper deck. Sirens blared and sparks fell from the ceiling. Ethan Cole shouted orders through the smoke while soldiers rushed to grab weapons. The air was filled with the sound of gunfire and metal grinding against metal. Mira 9 stood beside him, calm in the chaos. She watched the incoming radar on the command screen. Hundreds of signals were closing in fast. "They are inside the hull," she said quietly. Ethan reloaded his rifle. "Then we hold the line." The first breach opened above them. The ceiling exploded. Shards of steel rained down. From the hole came the Zerath machines, thin, black, with glowing eyes and sharp limbs. They dropped into the chamber like hunters. The soldiers opened fire. Bullets tore through the air. The drones moved fast, their bodies shifting shape to deflect shots. Ethan ducked behind a console and fired a burst into the nearest drone. It fell, but another took its place. A young recruit screamed as a metal claw pulled him from cover. Blood hit the wall. Ethan grabbed a plasma grenade and threw it. The explosion filled the room with heat and smoke. He turned to Mira. "If you can stop them, now's the time." She didn't answer. Her eyes flickered blue again. For a second, the drones hesitated. Their movements slowed. Then they turned toward her. Every single one. Ethan saw it too late. "Mira, move!" he shouted. They charged her in unison. She lifted her hand, sending out a shockwave of energy that knocked half the drones back. The others hit her like a wall. Ethan ran forward, firing into the swarm. Metal shards cut his arm, but he didn't stop. He reached her and pulled her free. Her uniform was torn, revealing pale skin beneath that shimmered like alloy. He dragged her down a side corridor. Behind them, the drones regrouped. "How many more?" he asked. "Thousands," she said. "They won't stop until I'm gone." "Then we find a way to end this," he said. They moved through the lower decks. Fires burned in every hall. Smoke mixed with the cold air from ruptured vents. Soldiers fought in small groups, defending choke points, dying one by one. Ethan pushed through, calling for survivors. Most didn't answer. They reached the reactor corridor. Mira stopped at a control panel and placed her hand on it. Blue lines ran across the walls as she accessed the system directly. "I can reroute power to the defense grid," she said, "but you must trust me." Ethan looked at her. He didn't trust anyone who could talk to machines, but he had no other choice. "Do it." She closed her eyes. The lights dimmed, then flared bright. Across the station, the automated turrets came alive. Heavy guns turned toward the invasion points and opened fire. Explosions echoed through the decks. "It's working," Ethan said. Mira's hands trembled. "Not for long. They are adapting." He saw her body shaking, the glow in her veins pulsing too fast. "What's happening to you?" "I'm connected to them," she said. "The link works both ways." Ethan pulled her hand from the console. "You'll burn yourself out." Before she could answer, the intercom crackled. A deep voice came through, calm and human. "Commander Cole, this is Admiral Kane." Ethan froze. He hadn't heard that name in years. "Admiral Kane? You're alive?" "I am," the voice said, "but not on your side." Mira opened her eyes. "That's him. He's the one who made me." Ethan stepped back, his chest tight. "You're saying he's working with them?" The intercom hissed again. "You were never meant to find her, Ethan. Hand her over. I'll let you live." Ethan stared at the speaker. His voice was low. "You sold us out." "Humanity sold itself," Kane replied. "You'll understand soon." The line went dead. Outside the viewport, a new fleet appeared. Human ships. But their signals burned with Zerath code. Ethan whispered, "That's impossible." Mira looked at him. "It's already begun." Ethan stared at the screen. Human ships filled the space outside Titan Station. They looked like Earth's fleet, but their engines glowed with the same blue fire as the Zerath craft. Every signal carried Kane's command code. The betrayal felt like a blade through his chest. Mira stood beside him, breathing hard. "He's controlling them. He used the hybrid system to turn your ships against you." Ethan slammed his fist on the console. "That's our fleet. Those are our people." "They aren't yours anymore," she said. Kane gave them the Zerath link. They're slaves to the hive now. Outside, the human Zerath fleet fired the first volley. Plasma bursts lit the dark sky. The outer decks of Titan Station broke apart. Explosions rolled through the structure like thunder. Ethan grabbed Mira and pulled her down the corridor as fire chased them. They ran through the wreckage. Soldiers screamed over comms. Some still fought, others fled. Ethan's voice came through the command channel, rough and cold. "All units, regroup at reactor level. If they take the core, the station's gone." Mira followed him. Her face was pale, her movements slower now. Her link to the Zerath code was taking its toll. The lights flickered around her whenever she passed. Ethan saw it, but said nothing. They reached the reactor deck. The air was hot and full of smoke. Half the team was already there, setting up defense lines. Ethan took charge. "We hold here. No one gets past this point." A young lieutenant looked up at Mira. "Sir, is she with us?" Ethan's tone was sharp. "She's with me." The soldier nodded, fear in his eyes. The floor trembled again as another blast hit. Pipes burst. Steam hissed through the chamber. The sound of claws on metal echoed from the dark tunnels ahead. Zerath drones crawled through the vents, their eyes glowing blue. The humans opened fire. The air filled with smoke and sparks. Ethan moved through the line, shouting orders. "Cover left. Keep the core sealed." Mira crouched near a terminal, her fingers on the controls. "I can shut them out for a few minutes," she said, "but I need access to the main power grid." "Do it," Ethan said. "We'll hold them off." The drones pushed harder. The soldiers were running out of ammo. One screamed as a claw tore through his armor. Ethan shot the creature and pulled the man back, blood covering his hands. Mira's eyes glowed again. She connected to the grid. The station's lights flared bright white. The drones froze in place for a second, systems locking up. Then Mira screamed. The signal was burning through her mind. Ethan ran to her and pulled her hand off the console. She fell against him, shaking. He held her upright. "You're killing yourself." She looked up at him. "It's the only way. I can turn their network against them." "How?" "If I connect to the hive again, I can reverse the signal. But if I fail, I become part of it." Ethan stared at her. "There has to be another way." "There isn't," she said. "You know it." He hesitated, then nodded once. "Do it, but if you turn, I'll stop you." Mira gave a small, tired smile. "I'd expect nothing less." She stepped toward the main console, hands glowing with blue light. The Zerath ships outside shifted formation. Kane's voice came through the intercom again. "Ethan, don't make her do this. She's mine. Always was." Ethan raised his rifle at the nearest speaker. "Not anymore." He shot it out. The floor started to vibrate. Mira screamed again as the link activated. Her body lit up like fire, veins pulsing with light. The drones froze mid-attack. The ships outside turned their guns on each other. For a moment, it worked. Then a gunshot echoed through the chamber. Ethan spun around. Admiral Kane stood in the doorway, weapon raised, eyes glowing with the same alien light. Kane smiled. "You always followed orders, soldier. Follow this one. Kill her." Ethan froze. The sound of Kane's voice cut through the reactor chamber like a blade. Smoke drifted around them, glowing under the blue light from Mira's body. Kane stepped forward, his boots scraping metal. Half his face was still human, but the other half was not. The skin peeled back into silver, with thin black veins crawling under it. "Put the gun down," Kane said. "You don't understand what she is." Ethan didn't move. "I understand enough." Kane smiled. "You think she's your ally? She's the key, Ethan. She can open the hive. With her link, humanity will survive as part of something greater." Ethan aimed his rifle. "You sold out the species to save yourself." Kane's voice was calm. "No, I evolved." Behind him, the station shook as explosions ripped through the hull. The sound of battle filled the distance. The human Zerath fleet outside fired on each other, confused by Mira's interference. Alarms screamed. The heat from the reactor made the air shimmer. Mira fell to her knees, clutching her head. "I can't hold the signal," she said. "It's breaking me." Kane raised his gun toward her. "Then let it go. I'll finish the rest." Ethan fired first. The shot hit Kane's arm, spinning him sideways. Sparks flew where the bullet struck metal. Kane growled, his voice no longer fully human. He fired back. The blast hit the wall near Ethan's head, sending shards of steel across the floor. Ethan rolled behind a console and reloaded. He shouted to Mira, "Shut it down!" "I can't," she said. "It's alive. The hive is inside me now." Kane charged forward. Ethan tackled him. The two men hit the ground hard. Kane's strength was unnatural. He slammed Ethan into a wall, bending metal with the impact. Ethan gasped for air and swung his rifle like a club, smashing it across Kane's jaw. The weapon broke, but the hit knocked Kane back. Mira tried to stand. Blue light ran down her arms like lightning. The drones that had frozen before now twitched, caught between two signals. Some turned on each other. Some aimed their claws at Kane. He looked at her, blood running from his nose. You can't control them. You were built to obey. Mira's eyes flared bright. Not anymore. The drones lunged. Kane shot 2 of them, but more came. They dragged him down, claws digging into his metal flesh. He screamed as the machines tore at him. Ethan turned away as the sound filled the room. Mira stumbled toward the main console. Her voice was weak. The reactor is unstable. I can stop it, but it will take everything I have. Ethan caught her arm. No, we can find another way. She looked up at him. There is no other way. The walls started to crack. Fire ran through the vents. The floor shook as the reactor reached overload. Ethan could barely hear over the roar. Mira smiled faintly. You fought for the right side, Ethan. Don't waste it. He held her hand for a moment, then stepped back. Do it. Mira turned to the core. The blue light spread across her skin. Her body became brighter, her voice fading into the noise. The reactor began to pulse, building energy faster than the system could handle. Kane's last words echoed from the shadows. You'll destroy everything. Ethan answered, Only what you built. He ran for the escape bay. The explosion hit before he reached the door. A wave of light and heat tore through the station. The sound was like thunder breaking space apart. Outside, Titan Station split in half. The fleet above shattered in the blast. The fire faded into Saturn's shadow. Later, silence returned. A small escape pod drifted through the wreckage. Inside, Ethan opened his eyes. The console flickered weakly. A voice came through the speaker. It was Mira's. Ethan! The war isn't over. It just changed sides.